So, good morning or good night, depending on where you're in the world. And welcome to another interview of the Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector. And today I'm joined by Larry Boone. He's the drummer for Chokesetter. They're like a stoner rock band, and they just put out recently a self-titled record. So, first of all, Larry, how are you tonight?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. So yeah, the Chokesetter. Tell us a little bit about the band, the history of the band.
Um, in 2018, I was kind of working on some riffs with Steve, the guitar player. We were just having fun because we were working in another project together, but he had some material that was different from that particular project that he wanted to work on. And then at the time, there was a bass player that he was friends with that kind of got involved, and it turned into this little stoner rock project. And then we were talking about who to get as a singer. And I'm a tattoo artist, and I was actually tattooing Jesse, our current vocalist, when Steve would just be like, "What about Jesse Mall? Do you think he'd want to do it?" And I was like, I'm tattooing him. Let me ask him real quick, you know? And that's kind of like the brief story of how it happened. We just kind of started meshing together and writing material, and that's how the first album got written.
Okay, and you guys are in the Indiana area, right?
Yes, Northern Indiana.
Northern Indiana. Okay, so I listened to the record, and the interesting thing is you end the record because the record is already up with a live song. I think it's called 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was the decision to add that that song to the record?
So this particular album was actually it was released once by us independently.
Okay.
And when we got our deal with Pavement Entertainment, they'd asked, well, we were asking them, do you want us to put out a new record, or do you want us to? And they were like, well, let's just release your old one under us. And so we were like, well, if we're going to release this again, we're going to do like a new version of it. So what we did is we remixed all the drums. Dustin, our bass player now, recorded all of his bass tracks, replacing the old bass players, because when Dustin joined the band, he brought a whole new vibe to the songs with his bass lines. So all of his bass lines are on the record now. And then we remixed the whole record again and had it remastered by somebody who's done work with like Clutch and Crowbot and some other tons of big names before. And came up with a whole new album cover, lyrics, and then we threw a new song on there, and then we just were like, well, let's throw a live one on there too, because we had a pretty good live recording of that particular song from a show we played in Chicago. So it's like the release of our old record, but a new version of it. So that way, if people bought it, it'd be like a totally different record compared to the old one they bought.
Okay, so it was like giving uh, those new songs like a new life. Which one was the new one that you wrote for this one in particular, for this version?
The song These Stones, I wrote the lyrics to that. Um the rest of it Jesse wrote, and I've helped him a little bit here and there. He does a majority of the song writing, but yeah, I wrote all the lyrics to that song particularly. So
Which one was it? I didn't understand what you said. Sorry.
well, which what were you?
Well, which song was the one that you wrote for?
Oh, These Stones.
Okay, these
Yeah.
stones. Cool track.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you reworked the artwork. So on that note, we can talk about the artwork of the new version of the record that you put out. So here's the artwork for Chokesetter. So tell me a little bit about what you guys were going for with this album artwork.
Well, so the backstory is the name Chokesetter is actually what you call a lead lumberjack. And the choke setter's job is to fasten all the logs together when they're chopped down in the industrial park or whatnot, so they can be transported and stuff. So like a choke setter is a like an actual lumberjack title. And that name was given to me by a friend of mine that I used to know when I lived in New Orleans. He was like, it was his idea for a band name. So we ended up using this later on. And then when we were releasing this new version of the record, and we were like, we should incorporate a little bit more of the whole lumberjack kind of look. I kind of drew this and everybody loved it. And, we're talking about maybe making it like a mascot kind of thing to incorporate on future records, that sort of thing. It was way more eye catching like than our first version, because the first version of this record, it was just our logo with like a photograph of some lumberjacks in the mountains and stuff. Real basic. It was
I
really, really.
yeah, I think I saw it on your website.
Yeah, it was really, really indie looking. So with this one, I was like, man, I'm gonna go all out, because being a graphic artist and everything, I'm like, if this record's gonna get put out on a national level, and especially if we're gonna try and sell it more or press it to vinyl, I want a cover that when somebody looks at it, they're like, they'll buy it just because of the album cover. So that's kind of how this one came about.
So did you do the album cover?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's awesome because it's like a cybernetic lumberjack.
Right. So we came up with the idea that we were going to call our record Lumberjacks from Outer Space. So
Yeah,
probably what the next record's going to be called. And then that all kind of ties into the whole space cosmic look of what you see with this particular album cover here.
yeah, no, it's a cool album artwork and it really pops up. So yeah, so how did Pavement Music get in touch with you and the whole thing started of you re-releasing your first album?
They put out ads once in a while on Facebook saying that they're looking for new talent to work with. And this was some years back now. My God, it was probably 3 years ago now. But we saw that ad and we submitted a song, and they like replied to us the very next day saying that they really wanted to work with us. And we just kind of started working with them, first off with promoting a single. And then we were happy with the work they did for us. So we kind of worked out where we were going to do a one album deal with them, and that's how this came about with the release of this record, and doing what we're doing now.
Okay, which song did you send them?
Motorboater, the
Okay,
first.
okay.
Yeah.
So, so I know you guys, so you have these songs being out for a while, reworked them. Are you already working on new material at the moment?
Yeah, we have a ton of new material. In fact, when we have been playing shows recently, we've put like a few new songs in there. Um, and they're going over really well. So we're basically waiting for the honeymoon period of the release with this record to kind of calm down a little bit, and then we're going to start recording some new songs in the late summer, early fall, and maybe we'll release like a single here and there, as a kind of a build up to release our next record next year.
Okay. So for you said that for with Pavement it was for this album. So for the next album, you don't know if you're gonna be releasing it independently or what are the plans?
We're planning on Pavement's been great and they're a fantastic label, but we have been really thinking about finding a label like a little bit more in our niche, like for the stoner rock
Mhm.
that could kind of promote us to that crowd a little bit more. Um, so we might go with something smaller if we submit some stuff. Also, yeah, it's not totally unheard of to submit it on our own. or put it out by ourselves. The only thing that we would be missing there would be like distribution, but we're kind of finding out stuff on our own that there's a way to do that with even not needing a label. You need to have money involved, which seems to be the consensus for a lot of stuff is investing in your band financially. It's nothing's for free. Labels, they don't do like they used to be like, oh, here's $100,000 advance and we're going to put you on a bus and blah blah blah. It's not like that anymore. You know what I mean? So yeah, regardless of which way it goes, we're definitely gonna find the means to put it out on our own, or yeah, hopefully find somebody that can put us in the right hands to get us. We'd love to do some more networking in Europe and stuff, foreign countries, get like our distribution out that way.
Yeah, I know, totally makes sense. And Matt, I'm trying. It's very dark now where you are.
Hang on just a minute, if you give me a second. Hold on.
I'm like seeing you, and then it goes like really dark. Okay, yeah,
Yeah, sun's going down, and I'm in my dining room, and the lights.
like it's really dark, but now I can.
Yeah, it was getting dim in there. Sorry about
It's
that.
darker.
There we go.
Okay. Uh, so
This is the last call lights right here, so it's like, turn them back off, So
okay. So uh, like reworking on these songs, like now that these songs have been out for a while, like which song is your favorite to play live?
um, it would be for me a toss between Red and Eden. Those are my two favorites. I love them all. I mean, Motorboater is a fun song too, only because that's the first song that we ever wrote together as a band. And for it being really simple bread and butter, that song really describes our sound a lot. It's a good solid groove, super meat and potatoes. It's nothing like it's nothing complicated, but it's just a good formula for a fun song. And that's kind of what we strive for, even with our heavier stuff, is we always try to write stuff that we would get into if we were watching us play. We're very fortunate to have the fan base we have, and it grows every time we play a show. But we always had the idea that we were like, we're going to write music that we would want to hear, you know, um, not taking into consideration, well, we need to have something that's more radio hit, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. And if we ended up, say, working with a producer or something that wanted us to do so, we would to a certain extent, as long as it didn't take away from who we are. But it's just we we love writing what we write because it's us. It's 100% us. So that's that's just the way that it goes. That's the best way you can be, I think.
Yes, and if you wanna play songs, you wanna play songs that you like.
Yeah.
Like I would imagine, like I'm sure there's artists that there's songs that they hate, and if they were a hit, they have to play them over and over again. So I would really suck for that. So uh, you being, like a stoner rock band, like any bands in the genre that really got you into this genre?
Oh man. Really, it's hard to say because we didn't really plan on being in this genre. When we started writing these songs and they were really basic, I mean, they just started off as riffs. They were, uh, really basic structures. We were just kind of having fun with it, and it all just kind of like got stirred together and became what it is. I don't think any one of us had an expectation for how this was going to sound because none of us really knew. So it's like when it started to come together, um, and we got kind of put in that stoner rock category. There's a lot of stoner rock uh, elements to our music, but at the same time, there's a lot of other influences as well. And it goes with anything. I mean, for instance, with shows we've played since we started. I mean, we were getting put, it seems like, on freaking death metal like shows like for the first 4 or 5 months when we were playing out of town. Like every show was all death metal bands, and then there was us, and all these young kids with long hair, and they're all crazy playing fast. And then you get these old guys up there, and everybody doesn't know what to expect. And then we would just destroy the house and sell tons of merch, and that's kind of how we built up our fan base that way. But we've opened for some big name bands that aren't stoner rock, and we've totally taken over the crowd. Like, for instance, not too long ago we played with Jackal. That's the chainsaw band. And we didn't know what to expect. The venue promoter asked us if we wanted to do it, because he's like, hey man, I'd love to get you guys in front of this crowd. It's always almost sold out. It's a fun crowd. I think you guys go over great. And we were like, okay, we'll give it a shot. And we played it, and everybody loved us. Everybody loved us. I mean, we had, before we could even get off stage, a line to our merch booth. You know what I mean? So it's rewarding that we can play in front of almost any crowd and win them over. So there's my hope that even though we're in the stoner rock category, that we can maybe break through to a little bit of maybe a mainstream a little bit, and catch catch the wind where other bands in this genre can't.
Yeah, no, because it's a very niche genre,
Yeah.
stoner rock thing. So, talking about shows, any upcoming shows that you guys have?
What was your question? I'm sorry.
Are you guys playing some upcoming shows soon?
Yes, we have a couple at the end of July. That's just in our backyard. It's a couple of Indiana shows. We're playing two of those with some friends of mine from Wisconsin called 20 Watt Tombstone. They're an amazing band. I'm so excited to be bringing those guys down here. August, we've got a one-off show in Ohio. We're playing like a really big veterans biker festival. That'll be a lot of fun because we're really big into like, the whole uh, helping the veterans out, everything like that. September, we've got a 4-day run that we're going to be doing with a couple of bands. It'll be like Detroit, Battle Creek, Dayton, Ohio, and then Lexington, Kentucky. And then the big one in September is we actually get to open for Corrosion of Conformity at the venue in Fort Wayne, which is about an hour away from us. So that's going to be a great show. We're really excited about that one.
Yeah, that's a big one, opening for Corrosion of Conformity. So I
Yeah.
guess you guys are also fans, I think, of like horror, because there's the Bela Lugosi song that you have.
Yeah. The Bela Lugosi song.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are horror fans, and the funny story, that the reason that got named that was because when we were writing that music, I just happened to say at practice, I was like, I don't know why, but those riffs just remind me of like Dracula or
Hmm.
something. And then it evolved. Or just like, okay, well, let's make it a song about Dracula. But I'm like, but let's not call it Dracula. And then we started talking about the movie Ed Wood with Johnny Depp, how he was the one that wrote Plan 9 from Outer Space, and how he had Bela Lugosi in the movie, and Bela Lugosi, like, he just cameoed in it. It had nothing to do with the plot of the movie whatsoever. I don't know if you've ever seen this movie, but they're like, well, let's just call the movie Bela Lugosi. I mean, he's the OG Dracula. You know what I mean? Other than like the original Nosferatu actor from the 20s, but anybody who associates classic Dracula is going to say Bela Lugosi right away. So that's how that song came about, and that's another crowd favorite. People love that song.
And he's right there in the back
Yeah,
from you.
back there, right? Yeah, I have a painting of him, and Like over here, I've got Nosferatu on that wall.
Ah,
Yeah, I got a lot of art hanging up in my house. So
the old school Nosferatu, not the new one.
yeah, the old one.
Are you gonna the new one with the mustache?
I couldn't, man. Oh, it was a good movie, but man, I couldn't get past the mustache. I was like, no.
But you know what? Apparently, that's very accurate. That's what they would look like at the mustache. It was kind of funny.
It was. That's what they said. It's the time era. That's what he would look like. I'm like, but he also sucks blood, and I think that thing would get in the way. So also if he's supposed to be dead, the undead would not have a
Yeah,
mustache.
I would believe that the hair would fall off. I don't know.
Exactly. You know what I mean? So, but either
But
way,
it's
it was so
pretty when he's sucking blood. Imagine if he gets like blood on the mustache and
exactly. Or just like you know, I just kind of takes the whole seduction part away. It's like, hey, come here, baby. So
I think that's the first time I seen a vampire with a mustache.
yeah, here, same here.
Yeah,
And when Eddie Murphy was the vampire in Blackula, no, was that him? No, Eddie Murphy was a vampire in a movie, and he always had a mustache too. But even then, I was like, Eddie Murphy's not a vampire. He's too funny. He can't do it. But
yeah.
yeah, most vampires don't have mustaches. So
Well, I remember Leslie Nielsen also did like a parody of Dracula. Yeah, it was called Dracula Dead and Loving It.
yeah, yeah, that one. Oh man, that was. I haven't seen that movie in so long. I mean, God, usually you think Leslie Nielsen, it's the Naked Gun films, and I can't watch those without almost peeing my pants. Still to this day, they just make me laugh so hard, man. It's old comedy movies are the best.
Yeah, I don't know how. I know they're doing it's not a remake. It's a continuation with Liam Neeson, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it all depends. If they write it like an old Naked Gun, I think it'll be funny. If they stick to the
Yeah,
stupid slapstick, I mean, that's what's going to make that movie because that's all it was. That was all Stooges humor, all of it. You know what I mean? So if they stick to that formula, it might be okay.
yeah. Did you see the trailer?
I did. I was kind of like, all right, I'm interested to see how this is going to go. You know what I mean? I hope they don't gum it up, but if it sucks, no big deal. It's just another movie that I just don't watch ever again. Because thankfully, we always have the classic ones. You know what I mean? So yeah, at least we got those.
Yeah, I like the O.J. Simpson joke.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, they had to go there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty much. That was a good
Yeah,
one.
probably for young people they'll be like, oh, what happened? I'm like, if they haven't seen the Naked Gun movies, because
Yeah,
he was Nordberg,
yeah, yep.
or the glove didn't fit.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
So it sounds like you guys, you're having fun and. Uh, from if they people want physically, like what copies does Paper Music have? Is it CDs or vinyl?
Well, we just found out. I don't know why this is going on. Apparently, there wasn't a contract option for Pavement to sell our CD on the website. I don't know about all that. But anyway, we're going to just be selling it on our own.
Mhm.
So if anybody wants a copy, they're more than welcome to reach out to us on our Facebook. Just to start with, we're working on building an online store right now. We got some other things that we need to take care of, but we have the CD. It came in the mail last week. So we'll have those for sale up soon. And then, yeah, we will be pressing some vinyl for this one because I think we'll sell more vinyl than we will CDs. We'll always have CDs on hand, especially at shows because some people will still buy them. But we're really going to try and focus on vinyl sales because there's a lot more collectors now. And those seem to go like hotcakes at shows. So that's the plan.
So if they follow you on Chokesetter.com, I'll post the link for people who want to know, the news on the band. So, Larry, before I let you go, anything you like to say to the fans before we go?
I guess to anyone that's listening to this particular podcast or show, if you check us out and like us, please give us a follow. Don't be afraid to reach out to us. We respond to all of our fans and keep in touch. That's one thing that we pride ourselves on doing, is not being stuck up snobs, anything like that. And if you like what you hear, tell everybody else about us and help make us famous, because that's what we want to do. So to have as our next day job, that's what we're hoping for.
Help the band get on the road so you can take it someplace, other places.
The radio.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Larry, thank you for taking some time of your night to chat with me. So Couchers, Chokesetter album is out now digitally if you want to listen to it. Also, if you're at the shows in July, probably you can get the CD there physically at the show. So yeah, thank you for meeting me from all the way to Indiana here to Puerto Rico. So until next time, Couchers, this is Hector, the Shield Dude on a Couch, and I'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you,
buddy. Thank you.
Bye.